What's going on YouTube? It's Ninja Turtle, and I've got a brand new, recently finished custom of one of my favorite characters of all time. If anything, one of my favorite Marvel characters ever, Kitty Pryde. And this time, she's got her Excalibur duds on, that beautiful blue, the sash. Lockheed is here, and everything was custom done, well, custom painted as. And I'm just gonna let you know, this is how she was put together, where all the parts and pieces came from. So if you're looking to do this yourself, you can do it yourself. I believe in you. I did it. You can do it too. So let's go ahead and get started. As always, from the bottom to the top. Actually, you know what? This time, let's start with the Lockheed. So we can do a quick Lockheed comparison. Then we'll go over the figure, and then I'm going to do a comparison of Kitty with other figures. So let's start with Lockheed. Alright, it's a bit off center just so I can have something to focus on for the camera, I guess. But we have my custom Lockheed on the left, and then this Lockheed is the same Kitty, the Lockheed that came with Kitty Pryde, the official Hasbro version. I believe it's the Juggernaut Build-A-Figure wave. I could be wrong on that, but that is the Lockheed that came with that figure. So this Lockheed is not well, it wasn't meant to be Lockheed. This came from the Walgreens exclusive Magic, and it originally was like a reddish orange color. So it's just repainted because it's, it was meant to be a demon for that package, but it's really just a recolor of Lockheed. So I just took that and repainted it. So this purple is much darker, though that wasn't necessarily the intention. I just picked purple and it just turns out to be a very dark color. So I will be doing more Kitty Prydes in the future, and pretty much all of them will have Lockheed. So I will have more of these Lockheeds, and I'm going to try to use a different purple or different, I think I have a grape color, and see if I can get it to be more light like this one. This is too dark, but it doesn't look terrible. One thing that is cool is that the eyes, I did paint them a lot bigger than on the original Lockheed. You can barely see his eyes there, but for what it's worth, it's just a repaint and nothing else special to him. Alright, so now getting back to Kitty Pryde, this does give a good opportunity to see a quick height comparison. She's not significantly taller than this Miss Marvel figure. And really, I didn't actually use the legs from this Miss Marvel. These legs are actually from a Walgreens exclusive Magic, but they're the same legs, the same thighs, it is, hips and thighs. So this hip and these thighs are from the same body mold that make up this Miss Marvel and the X-23 X-Force and the Magic figures. So they're all the same. So I'm using those thighs on this Kitty Pryde, but as far as the lower legs, those are just your standard, pretty much like Kate Bishop calves, those sorts of things. I think these particular lower legs come from a female beetle, but again, they're just standard issue, like almost most older Marvel Legends have these sorts of legs, and that's what I'm using there. The feet are again just standard flats, but there are some sculpted details on the boots. So all of this upper part of the boot is a sculpted line on there. You can kind of see it a little bit there. And all of this color, by the way, the dark blue is literally dark blue from Model Masters acrylic, just straight up dark blue. The lighter blue is just a mix of white with transparent blue. So however you can get this baby blue color, go for it, but that's what I did. I used transparent blue and mix that into mostly white color to get this color, this baby blue color. And I love these blue colors in general. I just absolutely adore them. Blue is my favorite color, and it just looks incredible out of these cans of paint. So the only other difference here with the sash itself, the sash came from a Hellcat figure, which in of itself was a very dark blue, almost like a midnight blue color. So, but I wanted it to be matching the rest, and so I ended up priming it and then using Angelus acrylic leather paint and using their standard blue, it matches the Model Master's dark blue very well. So that's just that. And I use separate leather paint because it works better with more stretchy and bendy type of materials like the Sash. But again, the colors ended up matching just fine, so that's what we did there. But that's it. We don't need Miss Marvel for anything else. The torso is a Age of Apocalypse Jean Grey. So for the most part, it's, you know, again, from this figure here, this what this torso is, the lower torso. And yeah, so the size of this torso, the lower torso, is about the same as, you know, Miss Marvel, and same as X-23, same as Magic. It's the shortest that there is, but those, like the Magic and X-23, are abs, like their abs are out. And then this one is really not useful for anything other than using it for this like shirt, long shirt thing. Because if you actually were to take this apart, it's like very thin, very, very small piece that has no detail to it. So I wouldn't use it for anything other than using this long shirt things. But yeah, using the Age of Apocalypse jean, it's just a bodysuit, and it's really, really short, and that's really small. So that's what that lower torso is. And the upper torso is from a Deadly Origins Black Widow. I don't have one of those right now, but it's from that figure. And so nothing was changed with the collar or anything like that. This chest is open. You actually can see some of the zipper on that because it's from the Black Widow. However, there is one detail. It is a little hard to pick up here, but I hope you can see that on the shoulders. I added some shoulder pads so that they are, it's mimicking the shirt look, the, I guess, blouse or whatever it is on on Kitty. So it's a little bit pointed, and that actually did come from here, from Age of Apocalypse Jean Grey. You can see her shoulder pads. I took that and just cut those off on the tips of that, and then glued that to the shoulders on each side, and then painted it blue. So she does have a little bit more of a pointed shoulder blade than it would be if you just use the Deadly Origins Black Widow top. Lastly, let's go to these arms. The arms are jacket arms. They're actually from Typhoid Mary, and I don't have an extra Typhoid Mary to show you, but that's what these arms are for. We don't need her anymore. But yeah, so Typhoid Mary are all of these arms. However, there is extra sculpt here. So I hope you can see the sculpt on the bottom. So that way it's just a regular jacket arm for the bicep area, and then taking the forearm of Typhoid Mary, and I added some epoxy sculpt on there to give it more of a baggy look, and then just kind of worked with the sculpt to make it just look more fabric like, and I think it worked out really, really well. And you know, that's the best that I can do. We don't want to wrap the entire arm in epoxy sculpt because it will make it a little difficult to maintain when you try to put the hands in there, and it might crack it. So that's just word of advice for anyone sculpting. Try not to sculpt around the entire arm or any piece that has a insertion. Anyway, the hands themselves are, well, they're just weapon holding hands. I don't remember whose hands they are. I'm gonna say that they are Lady Deadpool, probably. Most likely Lady Deadpool hands, because those are weapon holding hands. And lastly, her head and her face are, her head and her face, they're attached. Sorry. Her head is actually a Stepford Cuckoo's head, one of the 3 heads that come with when you buy the cuckoos, the Walgreens exclusive cuckoos, which are no longer Walgreens exclusive, by the way. You can get them on like Entertainment Earth and Big Bad Toy Store and other fan channel type of places that have those. So I ordered quite a few of those because I was only able to get one cuckoo except for Cuckoo when it was in Walgreens. But now I have quite a few of them. So I used one of those heads, so that's what this head is. And then the hair is from particularly the retro wave Black Widow. That was like the all black suit and the one that basically looked like Mary Jane because it was Mary Jane. So I took that hair and put it on the Stepford Cuckoo's face, and obviously it's been repainted, and that's it. Nothing else special going on with Kitty, and it's all going repainted and so on and stuff like that. But yeah, that's it. I didn't want to give her big curly hair just because it's a little harder to come by, and I wanted to save it for someone else. And I thought this hair style is plenty good. It looks fine, so I went with it. And that's it. So let's go ahead and get to those comparisons right now. All right, here we have our first comparison. Kitty and all of her guy friends. We have Sensei, basically Wolverine to her right, and then to her left, fellow Excalibur member Nightcrawler, and former love interest Colossus all the way here. And yeah, you can see, maybe I should put Colossus a little bit closer just so you can get a real good height comparison here. And there you go. So quite a bit taller. So in this case, she's still taller than Wolverine, but a little bit shorter than Nightcrawler, and obviously much shorter than Colossus here. And yeah, they look cool together. This is very much in that era, her wearing this costume and stuff like that. I guess what, the 80s, so on. I do have her displayed on my 80s X-Men shelf with, actually, let's see, the 3 of these? Yeah, except for Colossus. I put this Colossus on my 70s shelf, but the other 3 are on my 80s shelf. So, actually, no, I take that back. No, that's right. Yes, right. I have a different Nightcrawler on my 70s shelf, but this is on my, this Nightcrawler is on my 80s shelf. So, I don't have, sadly, Captain Britain or anyone else from Excalibur wearing their Excalibur duds. So really it's just Nightcrawler, and but I do have a Rachel Summers. So let's go ahead and take a look at her with Kitty. Alright, so Kitty's still in the middle, and to her right, your left, is my custom magic. So if you missed out, there is a video on the channel for this magic. Again, it is a custom. Basically, again, the actual legs from my Kitty come from the Walgreens version of magic, but this is using some parts of the Walgreens version of magic, some parts of the actual San Diego Comic-Con version of magic, and some other custom parts and things are changed. But again, there's a video on her. As far as scaling goes, I'm okay with this because this is an older, more current magic, not a magic from, you know, Ileana from back during this era of Kitty. So she would be a little bit shorter probably. For the record, magic is about a 5'5" and Kitty's 5'6". But again, this is more modern magic, and this is a retro Kitty, so I'm okay with this height scaling. As far as Rachel goes, this is actually the first custom that I ever made, and although there's a lot of things that I would change and do differently with this if I were making this today, it's still cool to have them together. And this is a modern Rachel, by the way, so I don't, like I said, I don't have a classic Excalibur Rachel yet, but she'll be on the way. So this is just be my first Excalibur figure that I made, basically. And now let's go ahead and put Kitty next to Kitty. Alright, we have my custom Kitty Pryde right next to the official Hasbro. Again, I believe it was the Juggernaut Wave for Kitty Pryde, this Juggernaut Wave. And this is more, I wouldn't say, it's not at this point it's not modern, but it's more a recent version of Kitty Pryde. I believe this design was in Wolverine and the X-Men. So yeah, quite a bit of a difference in height between the two. Still very small. And in general, this is like Kate Bishop body with a modified upper torso. And it looks good. It looks cool. I really loved it. And I actually wish I could have used this face. And I was considering doing it. But one of the reasons why I didn't do it, one, because I was going to buy another one of these figures. They're terribly expensive. Two, I could have copied this head and used it instead. However, I really had a hard time wanting to take apart her hair, like her ponytail, and just like dismantling it. And even though I can put it back together, it would still be a little bit tarnished and tainted. And again, it's such a valuable figure and one of my favorite characters. I just couldn't stand doing it. Also, her head actually has sculpted hair. So other than her bangs and her ponytail, the actual head of hair is sculpted on with the rest of her head. So that doesn't come off. Unlike this hair, which is a separate piece, is glued on. So I didn't want to do that either. So anyway, I just decided to again use this Stedford Cuckoo's head, and I think it comes out really good. And it looks fine. I really like it. As far as the height difference, again, she's much younger. This is from the 1980s, and she was a younger. I don't actually know how old Kitty was when she was a part of Excalibur, but she joined the X-Men when she was 13, and she was with them for a little while, and then went to Excalibur. I'm pretty sure she was still a teenager when she was at Excalibur, so I'm just going to go with that and still say she was probably no older than 19 when she was with Excalibur, maybe even younger than that. So I'm okay with her being shorter than this older Kitty Pryde. But when I make more kitties, I'm actually going to make an X-Men Gold version of Kitty. That'll probably be the next one that I do, which is a very, very recent version of Kitty Pryde. She'll be taller than this, but probably not as tall as this, because I think this is too tall, but just barely too tall. Not a lot, but just barely. Kitty is 5'6", and I think using this body mold puts characters around 5'8", in my opinion, 5'7", 5'8", something like that. And yeah, so I think she's just a little too tall like this, but definitely older adult Kitty is not going to be this short. I'm going to make her a little bit taller, and I'm pretty much going to use a bodysuit lower torso. So the type of, I say bodysuit as if she doesn't already have one, like a Black Widow or Black Cat sort of torso. Which is a little bit longer than this lower torso here. So that would make her a little bit taller, and I'm basically using just that going forward for more adult, modern, older kitties. And if I'm going to go, which I still might do, an original appearance, like first appearance Kitty Pryde, I would go much shorter than she is here. So anyway, that's it. You can see Lockheed, how different he is. I can't put this new Lockheed on her shoulder because her hair is in the way. So I actually have my Kitty Pryde displayed just like this with Lockheed on her shoulder. I love it like that. And yeah, so this one will be on her arm. So that's about it. Make sure you guys leave a like if you like this Kitty Pryde. Subscribe to the channel. I'll definitely have more Kitty Prydes in the future, among other X-Men, and of course plenty of other customs on the way. I'm so excited for a few that I'm working on right now. I did finish one that I was going to shoot a video for, but I made a mistake. So instead of making a whole video on that one, I'm going to throw it at a end of the month sort of deal and go over it quickly. It came out almost awesome. It just made one stupid mistake, and it's really pissing me off. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video, which should be, I don't know, posting in a few days, hopefully. See you guys next time.